hello everyone. How are you today? I am so excited that you are taking up the push-up challenge for the month of March. Now I know some of you might be thinking, oh, push-ups. I am with you on that one. These are one of my challenging kind of exercises that I do tend to avoid because they are a little bit challenging for me. So I just want to take this up, embrace it, embrace the challenge, embrace this opportunity, and just see where it takes us. So basically, let me just run through a couple of the parameters for this month's challenge. The first set of push-ups you're going to do is going to establish your base. So if your base, you start your first set of push-ups and you get 5 in, then that's your base. That's your maximum number of push-ups that you can do. So that's going to be week 1. So you're going to complete for week 1 5 sessions of push-ups, and that means whatever number yours is. If it's 5 push-ups that you're doing, you're going to do 5 sets of them throughout the course of the week. So 5 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday, 5 on Wednesday, 5 on Thursday, 5 on Friday. The following week, week 2, we're going to add 2 to that number. So you're now going to go from 5 to doing 7. Week 3, we're going to go from 7 to, we're going to add 4. So that means 11 push-ups. And then from there, we are going to add another 6. So that's 17 push-ups by the end of the month. So that is our target for our challenge for the month of March. So I wanted to run through, first of all, some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to doing push-ups. Now there is, I'm sure, different variations you've seen out there. This is my interpretation of them. My purpose of doing this video is to make sure that you are safe and that you do not injure yourself in any way, shape, or form. So please, if you have any back issues, if you've got wrist issues, perhaps this is not the right challenge for you this month. So please reach out to me if you do want to partake in a challenge, but you're like, I can't do the push-ups because I've got some back issues or wrist issues. Please reach out to me and we'll make an arrangement. But when we are doing push-ups, there are some fundamental things that we want to make sure that we're doing correctly so that our form is in tip-top shape so that we can be as safe as possible. First and foremost, of course, is going to be your wrists. So you're going to want to make sure that you've got some good weight distribution. Sorry, my furry friend is right behind me. Good weight distribution through both of your wrists. And I tend to try to encourage people to put weight into the heel of their hand and spread their hands nice and wide. Now, sometimes I see people kind of externally rotating their wrists. I don't think there's any harm in that. Just be mindful that if it does feel uncomfortable, I tend to try to encourage people to put their wrists kind of flat, fingers facing the top of their mat, but for some it might feel a little bit more comfortable to slightly externally rotate them. So first and foremost, make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. You've got your hands nice and spread out in a nice 5-pointed star, if you will. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and kick our legs out. And first and foremost, again, I want you to make sure that you're thinking about having a long back. Sometimes I see this. This is extremely compressing on the low back, and it's not going to feel very good. So if you're doing a full version of a push-up, you want to make sure your back is nice and long. I also notice a lot of people sometimes jutting their head forward. I want you to think about pulling up your neck so that your neck and the rest of your spine are nicely aligned. Your crown is reaching forward, your gaze is down towards the floor, and your heels are reaching out long. You've got some good engagement through the core, so you're making sure that everything is nice and set up before you go into your push-up. Now that's if you're doing a fully extended push-up. If you're new to push-ups, I've got 2 suggestions for you, but on the floor, the first suggestion is going to do it on your knees. Now, what I always do, and if you've done classes with me before, I always cue you to first go into a plank position. So set yourself up here in a nice plank, back is long with all those cues I just gave you for the other push-up, and then come down onto your knees. First here, this is going to establish a nice long line from the crown right down to your knees. And you want to be able to make sure you're doing this so that you've got some good length through the spine, you've got some good engagement through the core. I see sometimes people doing it with their bum up, and I just want you to make, just try to see if you can try it this way. This is a good way, a little bit more of a beginner stance as well. So if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But I do get some concern that you might be arching into your low back. So by doing it this way, you kind of get that long back, you get some good engagement through the core and the glutes, and then you can go down into your push-up, okay? So if you're doing a kneeling push-up, that is the way I would cue you. Just be mindful, make sure you've, turning all the right muscles on, getting those abs on, glutes are nice and turned on, and your shoulders are nice and engaged by putting a little bit of pressure of your hands into the floor. Now, there is always the option to do a push-up on the wall. And you might say, oh, that's so easy. Well, I'm gonna tell you, done correctly, they're pretty challenging. So first and foremost, if you are gonna do them up against the wall, so I'm just gonna pretend like this is my wall right here. I'm gonna bring my hands about shoulder distance apart. And what I want to make sure for is if I am doing a wall push-up, I'm not winging my shoulders. Whether you're doing a wall push-up or you're doing them on the floor, you want to make sure that your shoulders are nice and turned on, and you've got a really nice kind of supported shoulder girdle so that you're not winging in through the shoulder and leaning in more with your sternum. So that's whether you're doing a wall push-up or a floor push-up. Arms are going to be out here, and you're gonna just bend in through the elbow and let your body lean forward. Now, I can't totally do it. If I do it up against the wall, I'm gonna have my back to you. So I'm just kind of giving you a general view of this, and then press back out. You wanna make sure your feet are out far enough that you've got some good weight in through the upper body. So if push-ups are completely new to you and you wanna partake of this challenge, then I'm going to highly encourage you to do them on the wall. And there's nothing wrong with that. I do them on the wall all the time. I've got a shoulders thing. Full push-ups are really hard for me, so I'm not going to do them necessarily in a full length position. So make sure you make that decision for yourself. Now, there are different variations of push-ups you can do. There is the chest push-up. Now that's where your arms are going to be extended out nice and wide. I don't know if you can see my hands, but nice and wide here, and you're gonna come into your push-up and you're gonna press back up. That is one version. It's gonna work a little bit more of the pectoralis major and minor. You can do a tricep push-up. If you've done yoga with me or you've done chaturangas before, that is effectively what it is. And that's where you're gonna tuck your elbows in a little closer to center, a little closer in towards your ribs, back is nice and long, and you're gonna come down and press right back up, making sure, again, your back is nice and long, your core is engaged. The last one you can do, and this, there's many other variations, but I'm just giving you the basics so that you have a little bit in your toolbox to change up if you want something a little more challenging. The last one would be a diamond push-up, and that's where you take your thumb and your pointed finger and you bring them together. You're gonna bring it down to the floor. I'm gonna do this in a kneeling push-up plank position, Both of my fingers are connected and my thumbs, and then I'm gonna come down and back up. That's certainly gonna feel really challenging. If you've done them before, they are pretty hard. Now, I want you to make sure that you're not getting too worried about how far you go down. I know for some, they're like, I can't get down to the floor. Don't worry about that. If these are new to you, I want you to go down as far as feels comfortable and supported. You will get there. We've got 31 days in the month of March. We are going to be doing a lot of push-ups. We are going to be building upper body strength. You will notice a difference if you do them with the regularity and the consistency that we're looking for in this challenge. So don't get too hung up. I know that push-ups are a super challenge for me. This is going to be hard for me as well, and I'm really taking on the excitement of this challenge this month because we sometimes teach what we have to learn the most ourselves, and this is certainly one of those that I need to learn for myself. So please don't worry about that. Just make sure that you always remember that form is the first thing that we want to make sure that we're doing correctly so that we can stay safe and we don't injure ourselves. And secondly, be kind to yourself. If you get 2 push-ups in and that's it. That is okay. We'll get another 2 more next week. So we are gonna build up our endurance, we're gonna build up our strength, and we are gonna take this challenge on by the horns, and we're gonna bring it to the end of the month, and we're gonna get stronger, and we're gonna feel great about ourselves. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you've learned something that you could take with you for this challenge for this month. You know always that you can reach out to me at sharon.hillenar@icloud.com. That's SharonHillenar@icloud.com. Be sure to check my website out, anything that's going on, livecoachingandfitness.com. Thank you so much for joining us.